All right, good afternoon. We're back at Agape Pet Hospital. I'm Dr. Crowell, and we're here today with Biscuit, our kitty cat. He's our first kitty to come on the program. He's Missy's cat, who's here at Agape with us, one of our staff members. And so we're going to talk about vaccines today. We talked a little bit about them last time, and so we're going to get more into the technical aspects of it. We sort of talked about the controversy with vaccines and kind of why you want to do it and why some people don't want to do it. And so if you missed that video, check us out on YouTube. We have it archived, also on Facebook as well. And hopefully today we'll be doing Instagram Live again. So if you're on Instagram and catching us for the first or second time, thanks for tuning in. We've had a lot of support, so I appreciate the support. Thank you. So Biscuit is here to talk to us about cat vaccines, but before we jump into cat vaccines, we're going to talk about dog vaccines. Dog vaccines do contain some metal, and so a lot of people are shocked by that, but this vaccine in particular is really our only metal vaccine. We try to, at Agape, minimize the metal that goes into your dog. And so somebody would ask, well, why do you even put metal in the vaccine? And that's a great question. So this shot is a rabies shot, and the rabies shot is really a killed vaccine. So it's a killed virus, and the reason for that is we don't want the dogs or cats, this can go into cats as well, although we don't use it on cats, we don't want them to get rabies, because if they get rabies from the vaccine, obviously that would be deadly. And so any kind of really deadly virus, we use a kill vaccine. We use killed virus particles within this vaccine. And so, you know, there's got to be some way for the body to recognize the virus that is killed here, because if you inject just killed virus, you're not going to get a response from the immune system. So what they do is they put metal in the vaccine, specifically aluminum, and that's what lights the body up to come attack. And when it attacks the aluminum, it finds the killed rabies all wrapped around it and builds an immune response. And we use that for years in both cats and dogs. And then, as I was telling you last week, in cats we were seeing that they were getting sick and getting cancer from these things. We've never seen it in dogs, which is why it's still used in dogs. And if you go to any rabies clinic, I just want you to know, Biscuit's interested in it. If you go to any rabies clinic, this is what's used on both cats and dogs. And so if you come into me, I've got a cat vaccine for rabies that has no metal in it. So just be conscious of that and know that there's a difference in the rabies clinics and what you get for your cats, especially. So there's other vaccines that we do in dogs and cats. There's ones called modified live vaccine, and that means that the vaccine is weakened. It's not a full live virus, it's a weakened virus. And so we inject that, and that builds the strongest immune response that we see in both cats and dogs. And so some of our vaccines on this big line of vaccines behind me are both modified live for cats and dogs. And so we do use that sometimes, but there's no metal in those vaccines. So I just want to caution you, you don't have to be concerned. But as I was telling you before, we were getting upset as veterinarians about metal in the vaccines causing cancer in cats. And so we were going to stop vaccinating altogether. And so the manufacturers, at least one of them, came up with this rabies vaccine called PureVax, which I'm going to try to get that on there. It's called PureVax. And you need to ask your vet for this. It's an expensive vaccine. It's much more than just the regular vaccines, but it's recombinant technology. So this is the label for the rabies, and the vaccines sort of look like this. We have them in both leukemia and rabies. I'll try to hold those out here while we're talking. But these are vaccines that are recombinant technology. So what does that big word mean? Recombinant is a different way of doing stuff. These have no metal in the vaccine. And so what they use and what they have found, and it's phenomenal because it's even more, it leads human medicine. So human vaccine technology, a lot of them don't contain what these contain. And so these contain no metal. And so instead of, if you put a killed virus in here, the body will not respond to it. So it'll be an ineffective vaccine. So what they did is they took proteins to, say, rabies virus for cats, and it's all right. She got a good shot of it. And so the rabies proteins are inside of here, but rabies proteins alone won't cause the body to come and attack. So what they did was ingenious. They took a canary pox virus, which affects canaries, birds, and they put the rabies protein for the cats inside the canary pox virus. And so the body, it's a live virus that's multiplied thousands, millions of times. They won't tell me. They say the manufacturer says that's proprietary information, so they don't tell me how many, but enough to get a response at least. And so they do this over and over with this canary pox virus with rabies, cat rabies inside the canary pox virus. So then when you inject this, the body sees the canary pox, will come and attack it, and then find the rabies proteins inside the canary pox virus, and obviously kill the canary pox virus completely off, build immunity to that, which is not, it doesn't harm cats, and then they develop an immunity to rabies, or in this case, leukemia, the other vaccine. So those are the two that are recombinant technology. Recombinant technology, it's a hard word to say. So those are more expensive vaccines, but well worth your money. They have no metal inside of them, and so it's kind of the technology of the future that's already happening now, and it's making our kitty cats much healthier and happier, and we don't ever see cancer anymore because of our vaccines. So that's a good thing. One other thing I wanted to point out about our vaccines here at Agape is every time that your vet pulls out a vaccine, they have to inject into a bottle of liquid, which I'll put right here, and then they pull that down, and they pull that liquid down, and then they have to inject into the dry portion of the liquid. And I'll do that. And then they shake it, and then they pull it out. And so that is how we pull up a vaccine. Now we're going into the bottle twice with this one needle. It dulls the needle out. So what we do here at Agape that makes it nice for our patients is we take this needle off. It costs us a little more, but it's well worth it. And we just put on a new needle that's sharp. And that way when we're injecting your pet, like Biscuit, we have a sharp needle that doesn't hurt as much going into the skin. So it's an easier, as we call it, an easier injection for them, and it just takes a lot off of them. So we would love to have you come to Agape to visit us and have your pets vaccinated with this new PureVax recombinant technology. Remember that this month alone is 25% off for new clients and 10% off for pre-existing clients. That's also good. This is our February is our dental month, so it's also good for dentals as well. So we'd love to have you come visit us. Thanks so much.